Okay, this is tutorial 3.3 from the Revealed series. Let's go ahead and get started. The last thing we just did was we created a new layer above the lighthouse balloon layer called Layer 1. We'll be working with that. Please make sure that is selected. With this document still here, let's go ahead and go File, Open, or do a Command O to open. We're going to open another document. So find your data files. And in your data files, chapter 3, let's go ahead and open 3.2. So now we have two tabs up top, 3.2, and we have up in the air. Those two documents are open. So let's go on 3.2. Now here's a little tip. Let's go ahead and take 3.2 and let's drag it out. What happens is it becomes an independent document floating around the workspace. We can do the same thing with up in the air. So go grab up in the air and snap it away from the work surface. You now have two boxes. If you lost your box, do a Command tilde and it will open it back up. So we have two independent objects now on one work surface. Kind of a cool little feature that we have. So on 3.2, make sure you're selected on 3.2. So click on it, you'll notice that the layers palette changed. Let's go ahead and save this document. Let's save this in our classwork folder as Yellow Balloon. Okay, we've got that saved as Yellow Balloon. And let's work within this layer. What we're going to be doing is working on multiple ways to select something in a document and move it. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this balloon over to this document. There's more than one way to do it. Let me show you one way that we can do it. So make sure you're on the Yellow Balloon document itself. With that document selected, let's go up to Select on the menu and then go down to Color Range. The Color Range dialog box will now pop up. And what we're going to do is alter a couple things and then move the particular balloon. Let's change our fuzziness to 100. And let's make sure our selection is on image let's make sure it's on image rather than selection, or a little option box here. Make sure it's on image. Okay. Once it is on image and you have your fuzziness at 100, if you take your cursor and move it over to your image, you can see that you get an eyedropper tool. What we're doing is we want to select the blue area itself and not parts of the balloon, because we're trying to cut out the blue and leave the balloon. The balloon is so multicolored that it works a little better this way. So if I click on the blue area, I don't really see anything happens, but if you go look over at your color region, you can see that that light blue has now popped up. Okay. Once we have done that, we're going to go over here on the box and we're going to click the invert button. What the invert button is going to do is, instead of selecting all the blue, it's going to select everything but the blue, which in our case is the balloon itself. Once we've done that, go ahead and click OK. The balloon is now selected. Make sure on your toolbar you're selected on the Move tool. While you're on the Move tool, let's select the balloon. Let's just drag and drop on top of up in the air.psd. Once you've moved it over there, let's go ahead and move that balloon. So let's see, how about right about there? So the basket's right above the E and the R on there. So I'm going to move it down a little bit so we get a little bit of layers. I'm covering the lighthouse, covering the other balloon, but Darth Vader balloon is covering that one particular. I'm done with the Yellow Balloon.psd. I'm just going to close it. So I'm back to my single document. I kind of want a bigger work surface, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the document and drag and drop it until I see a little blue line right about there. If I let go, I now get back to my normal interface. So now I'm working with the balloons and the images. And notice when I drop that balloon on, because I was selected on layer 1 before I even started, it dropped it on layer 1. If you didn't do that, you might just use the histories palette to undo it and try again. So now that we have that balloon on layer 1, we're gonna remove the little halo effect around it on that one and the layer and the Darth Vader. If you notice, there's a little bit of a white line around the balloon, and especially around Darth Vader's helmet, and we can get rid of that. That just happens when you select things, but it makes the image look kind of fake and pieced together. So make sure you're on layer 1, which is a new balloon we brought over. Okay, with that selected, then let's go up to layer on the menu and go all the way down to the very bottom and get on matting, and then click on defringe. So we're going to defringe that balloon by a measurement of 2 pixels around the balloon. I click OK. It actually sharpens the image and gets rid of this little white halo effect. If you couldn't quite tell there, you'll really be able to tell in the Darth Vader one. On your layers palette, go ahead and click on the Darth Vader layer. Now that you're on that layer, let's go right again back to layer, matting, defringe to a width of 2 pixels, and watch as you click OK. Watch this white border be removed. The image now appears a little crisper, and it doesn't look like it was pieced together. Let's go ahead and save up in the air, and that will conclude 3.3, and we'll be getting ready for 3.4.